And so we will move on with ordinances for third reading. Ordinance 13813, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $225,000 of notes by the City of Athens, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying part of the costs of acquiring a new fire truck and related equipment, and declaring an emergency. Introduced by Councilmember Niasse.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption of Ordinance 13813.
Second.
And this is, as described in the title, an issuance of $225,000 worth of notes for the remaining portion of the balance due on the fire truck. This past year, we paid $50,000 down on the principal, and that was in part the contribution from Ohio University toward that, and then the city contributed an additional $25,000. So this notice for the remaining $225,000. It was the notice issued by Hocking Valley Bank at a rate of 0.35%.
And Mayor, as I recall, that originally was close to $1 million.
It was $1 million. I think we did a down payment of about half of that, maybe, and again, $50,000 per year for 5 years is what the university has been contributing. So as we're rolling it over through, I think Hocking Valley Bank, if my memory is correct.
Yes.
That's why we get an exceptionally low interest rate with them. And again, we'll re-up this and keep paying down the principal as time goes on.
Okay.
I think it was like 1.1 million,
Yeah,
wasn't it? A little
It
bit
was
under
It was actually
1.1.
1.2, I believe, was the final cost on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ordinance 13813. We have a motion and a second to accept. All those in favor of accepting ordinance 13813 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The ordinance is adopted. Ordinance 13913, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $750,000 of notes by the City of Athens, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying part of the cost of improvements to this municipality's wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency. Also introduced by Councilmember Niasse.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption of Ordinance 13913.
Second.
And this is for the $750,000 that is remaining of our wastewater treatment plant improvements. And we were able to obtain a good interest rate on this to begin with, and so it was not part of the larger loan for those wastewater treatment plant improvements. The original amount was $800,000 that was borrowed, and we have paid on the principal, and that reduces the principal amount due to $750,000. Once again, this will be with Hocking Valley Bank for a year at an interest rate of 0.35%.
Pretty much, so that's what's going on. And again, it's for the design of what we're doing now. We took out the major loan, the 18 million and change for the construction. And again, one reason why we do this is also because the other one is a fixed loan with a fixed pay down. So if we get a little on the front end, this is what we did in terms of design. We weren't sure of the total cost before the design and construction design. So.
All those in favor of accepting ordinance 13913 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. This ordinance is adopted. We'll move on to ordinances for second reading. Ordinance 14213, an ordinance granting a variance from the Athens City subdivision regulations to A.W. Taylor for property located outside the corporate limits, but within the 3-mile jurisdiction to allow a minor lot split. Ordinance 14413, an ordinance amending Athens City Code, Title 23 zoning to replace the term handicap ramps to accessible ramps for persons with disabilities.
Public hearing?
Public hearing is the 16th.
Yeah.
December 16th at 7 o'clock
Next
here in
week.
Chambers next Monday.
I'm sorry, you did say in these chambers.
In these chambers.
Ordinance 14513, An ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Athens, Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31, 2014. Introduced by the Finance and Personnel Committee. Anything we need to do? Okay. Ordinance 14613, an ordinance authorizing staffing levels, a non-union pay scale, and slotting for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2014, repealing all ordinance inconsistent therewith, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 14713, an ordinance adopting a fringe benefits package for non-union personnel within the city of Athens and repealing all ordinances inconsistent therewith and declaring an emergency. No? Amir, did you have anything to add?
Nothing else to add.
We are adjourned. Pretty fast.